Hi, this is Sean Weaver with Six String Country, and in this lesson we're going to take a look at the classic Chet Atkins arrangement of an old pop tune from the early part of the 20th century that's since fallen into the public domain. It's Oh by Jingo, Oh by G, You're the Only Girl for Me. And this was actually composed by Lou Brown and Albert von Tilzer. It was an old Broadway musical song, but it was later on revived and Chet made a quite famous arrangement of it. Chet actually recorded this twice, and he played it a little bit differently each time. The first time was on his second release in 1953, I believe, on Stringing Along with Chet Atkins. There was a 10-inch vinyl LP, and then 2 years later, I believe, it was in 1955, Chet re-recorded a lot of those songs that were on the original 10-inch LP when they released a 12-inch LP, which there was more space on it, so they could get more songs on the album, and Chet re-recorded some of the material, including this arrangement of Oh by Jingo. So the arrangement that I'll be showing you in this lesson is the later version. This is from, I believe it's, let's say 55. That record may have come out in 56. I'd exactly really want to check the dates to be exact, but this is from the 12-inch version of Stringing Along with Chet Atkins that I'll be teaching you today. And there'll be a few variations in here that I play from the old version, and I'll be explaining those when we get to those sections in the tune. The arrangement starts out with an interesting right-hand pattern, and it's pretty singular to this tune. And this, you know, Chet does this pattern in both arrangements that we were talking about in the intro, but it's just one of those interesting right-hand things he does where it's not a true thumb-picking thing, but you're definitely using all your fingers. And I would like to also start this out by mentioning that this is an intermediate to advanced electric guitar, you know, fingerstyle guitar piece. You can also play this on acoustic guitar, but it starts out with an A minor chord, and there's some hammer-ons going on in the chord shape. So very slowly he begins. A slow 4, because that's where I'll be practicing it as I'm beginning the piece. And when you work it up to a full performance tempo, then I would be thinking about it as in cut time in 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. 1, 2, 1, 2, and we'll get into the rest of that. So bear that in mind as far as the groove goes. So this is just a move. This is just an example of you got to practice this stuff to be spot on. And he played some things that were kind of hard. You just got to practice them. So you're going to have literally one beat to get from here back up here. And the way that's going to work is I've already got my thumb wrapped around the neck. So it's in position, because when I go back to the C6, recalling we've used this shape. This is how the theme begins in measure 9. Okay, it's going to be the same chord formation and the same melody. So you know you're going to want your thumb, have your thumb sort of already in position. So, yeah, I'm sorry, I'd use different. Those are the fingers I showed you to use. So even though I don't need my thumb in measure 24, it's just hovering there. Then my whole hand is going to slide up Thumb arrives at the 8th fret, and my fingers go into position for the C6. Okay. As far as the melody goes and the phrasing goes and the chords go, it's identical. So the big thing is just training your hand to get in position in time. Okay, then you're going to go back to the C shape again. So measure 27. Well, look at that. That's identical to measure 11. Identical down to the 8th note on beat 4. 4 and then tied through and re-articulating on the and of 1 on the next measure, on measure 28. Moving on to the next section of the tune, and I think of this as the bridge of the tune. It just goes to A minor and some other chords. But you're going to start out here with just an A minor chord shape. We're not going to be doing any of that hammering on or like we do in the intro or you know, the sections where it repeats, like at the ending of the previous section. But you do want your fingers in an A minor chord formation, strings 5, 4, 6, 4. And your melody is going to be on beat 2, open E string, and of 2, second string, and of 3, open E string. So it'll be like this. Okay. Then, on measure 42, we're going to go to the F6 chord again, just like we used in the previous section. And then we're going to go through an E7 flat 9 chord. Okay, so your left hand is going to be in the identical same position with the same fingers that you used previously. That section, okay? But we're not gonna, the melody is different, but I'm just saying, you know, you've learned that chord by this point in the tune. So use the same fingers, and this will lead you into measure 42. You want your melody on beat 1 on the second string, beat 2, open E string, and then the F6 formation really only lasts 2 beats, but it's going to be 6 string, 4 string with a strum. So you put them together. Okay, so now on beat 3, we needed to go to a different chord, and we go to this chord. It's an E7 flat 9 chord. It's open 6 string. And you have your index finger doing a partial bar across the first fret on the 3rd, 2nd, and 1st strings. And you're going to have, on beat 4, open 4 string and strumming through to the 3rd string. So because this finger is barred at the 1st fret, when you strum through, you're going to have that G sharp note, which is part of the E7 chord. And the melody is going to be on the D note on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. Go ahead and get that with your pinky. It's you know, it's easier for me to use my pinky certainly to get that note because my pinky is already in position from the F6. See, what happens is my thumb lifts off and my 3rd finger and 2nd finger lift off because that has to readjust, but my pinky can stay right there. So, okay, then on measure 43, we're going to go back to the A minor, but instead of thumb picking it, it's going to be an open ringing sound. We're going to do this. So, so coming back into the verse, he's going to play the verse out and he's going to do some neat variations as is. He's going to do some variations from the first time he played through the form. We'll walk up. We're going to start again just like identical. Then go into the C chord again. Now this is where the first variation happens, okay? In the first verse through the tune where Chet stays, and he does that walking gallop bass pattern kind of down to the, down to the 6th string. Here he does a hot lick, and the hot lick is this. Chet did this lick, and I believe this is in the end of one of my arrangements that is, somewhere in this series that I showed you. One of these other tunes, because it's a great lick. He gave us so many great licks, but it's almost like a lick you might hear like a Telecaster player play, or somebody like Albert, Lee. So what's going on there? I'll play it for you kind of closer to tempo, because the magic happens when you hear it fast. What's going on is getting into that from measure 67, you're going to be on the C chord. So you're going to thumb pick on 5th string beat 1, 4th and 3rd strum beat 2, 6th string beat 3, and then on beat 4 it goes with his pinky at the 5th fret, which is where this slide starts. 5th fret on the 4th string with the pinky, and that's on beat 4. And then he slides up to the 10th fret with his pinky. And that 10th fret is on beat 1 of the subsequent measure of 68. 4, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And from there, the lick is like this. You don't re-articulate the note, you've slid into it. And then on the and of 1, with your index finger, get the open 3rd string. And this open 3rd string is going to be kind of just a drone going on. And it's also a chord tone, so it works really well. And then on beat 2, you're going to go to the index finger with the 7th fret on the 5th string. And of 2, you're going to repeat the open 3rd string again. Remember what I said, it's just kind of there, it's droning. And then beat 3, you're going to move your index finger down to the 7th fret of the 4th string. So same finger, same fret, just down 1 string. And of 3, you can probably guess this by now. Repeat the open 3rd string. 4, go back to the 7th fret of the 5th string. Same finger, same fret, just 1 string down, then 1 string back up. And of 4, open 3rd string again. So that's the lick. You speed it up, it's pretty cool.